want to say thank you to Will Steeger as well for accepting the challenge of the partnership of working with so many across Minnesota and the country and the world to raise awareness about this important issue. And he's been a strong and clear voice and somebody that's I'm delighted to work with him on these forums across Minnesota. Senator Klobuchar, thanks for coming as well. We appreciate your attendance here and leadership on this as well. The First Lady of Minnesota is with me today. I was standing in front of the mirror not long ago, kind of bemoaning the fact that I'm getting to be middle-aged. I'm getting some love handles, my hairline's receding, and getting gray hair, and haven't been working out, and I'm kind of flabby. And I said, well, you know, honey, look at me. Can you give me any positive encouragement about my situation in life? And she said, well, there's nothing wrong with your eyesight. But it's important that we see this issue clearly, and I'll just provide a quick overview thoughts with this number of panelists. We want to make sure we try to stay on schedule as best we can. Some of my Republican or conservative friends, when we talk about these issues, say, oh, Palenti, you know, you and Steeger are cracked. This thing's a big hoax. You're going to deindustrialize America, wreck the economy, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, first of all, I think the obvious weight of the science indicates that climate change is occurring, that humans contribute to climate change significantly. We can debate whether that's a certain percentage, a higher percentage, or a lower percent, but I think the preponderance of the evidence is in that direction. Now, there are still some remaining skeptics in that regard, but today, in a group like this, we don't want to be just preaching to the choir. We want to also think about how can we raise awareness and educate and convey information in a way that's persuasive to people who are not yet on board, or who may be not as cooperative or helpful or constructive on the issues as we'd like them to be. So the easy thing for us to do today is have Will and I and the Senator and the panelists come and talk to many of you who may agree substantially. An important part of it, though, is how do we reach out beyond and convey the message. So I like to analogize it to Pascal's wager and say, okay, well, just suppose that the whole thing's a hoax, and that the science is mixed or somehow is going to be revealed to be different down the road. I don't think it is, but let's say that it is. The worst thing that we're going to do in the process is clean up the planet and leave a better world for our children and our grandchildren and their children and their grandchildren. Now, that's not so bad, and that's a good thing. But suppose we're right. And the need to take action is the need to avoid potentially cataclysmic circumstances for our Earth and for the stewardship responsibility that we've been given to take care of it and pass it on in a better condition. So we have some work to do. I think the majority of the public is with us. We have some work to do, but I wanted to just share that with you, that the idea isn't to go in an angry fashion, go to say people, you're crazy, no, you're crazy, no, you're crazy, no, you're crazy. We have an informed, rational dialogue in a way that reaches out and hopefully grows the understanding and the movement in a positive direction forward for Minnesota and for the country. We're here in northern Minnesota today to focus on some of the climate impacts on Minnesota and northern Minnesota. You know them well, but let me just highlight some by way of example. Climate change and global warming is going to impact our forests. We're going to see a change in the nature of the trees that are growing in northern Minnesota, from trees that are going to be more like spruce and fir to some to trees that are going to be more hardwood trees. It's going to change the nature of the forest in Minnesota with all sorts of implications for our ecosystem and for logging and the like. It's going to impact wildlife. We're going to see the potential migration or change of habitat for wildlife in this region, and you're starting to see some of that already in terms of the concerns about moose population and potential impacts on loons and many other species as well. In terms of fishing and angling, a beloved Minnesota sport and iconic activity in our state, particularly in smaller lakes as the temperature impacts are disproportionately higher. You're going to see impacts on cold weather fish and potentially severe impacts with respect to walleye and the like.